Hello, hello, Julie Barkus here, and I'm excited to come to you with this live training to help you transform your interview process. And this is also an opportunity for you to ask your questions if you would like to do so. But please note that I am going through StreamYard, and if you do want to ask questions, there is a link that you need to click on so that you're able to do that. But I'm thrilled to be here with you today, and I was thinking about the interview process. And I was thinking about Shrek and Donkey. You know the movie I'm talking about? All right, I love making movie analogies. I'm a huge movie buff, and anytime one pops into my mind where I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's there you go." I'm going to use that as an analogy to drive home the point. But I have seen my clients shift from not having people accept jobs, from not having people show up for an interview to not having people stay long after that interview. Maybe they come and they work for a day or they work for 2 days or 3 days and decide that that job is not for them. And what I want to help you do is transform this process for yourself. So not only do people show up for the interview, not only do they come to the interview, not only do they start with you and turn out to be the most amazing person you've ever hired, but I want them to look back at you like what happened with my client Mary, and she had somebody who went through her interview process, and the person took a job with her where she paid less per hour, and her workplace was not as prestigious as the workplace down the road, and yet this job candidate wanted to work for Mary. And the reason that she did that was because the interview process made her feel so incredibly connected. Now, if you're tuning in and whether you're watching, we're broadcasting this live via Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, you could feel free to interact with me, and I will come back to the various platforms and check after I wrap up this quick live training. But also feel free to accept that StreamYard link, and I'll take a peek and see if there's any questions. But does your interview process need some help? And a lot of times when we're interviewing, we may not think it does because we're getting people in. Maybe they stay just a couple days, but then we're able to get the next one in, whatever it might be. But you've really got to look as is it attracting the right people, the ones who are amazing and will show up to serve your vision. And not only that, but they're excited about your vision as much as you were the first days you open the doors to for business to say, yep, we're here, we're launching, and you are so excited about the vision. You want to hire people who have that level of enthusiasm. So one place that we want to start is really looking at what's our interview process like. So we've seen a lot of transformations happen, and I want to help you do the same thing. Sound good? If it sounds good to you, give me an oh yeah in the comments wherever you're watching, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to look at those comments and respond to you. So when I was thinking about the interview process and how I transform it with clients, one of the biggest things that we do is something that Shrek and Donkey were talking about in the first Shrek movie. Do you know what it is? I remember a scene where the two of them were walking side by side and they were talking about really getting to know people and to understand people. And Shrek was like, yeah, it's like peeling back the layers of an onion. Like there's many layers, many depths to people. And that's true. And Donkey was saying, well, no, why does it have to be a big old stinky onion? Memory serves me correct. Why not a parfait? A parfait has layers in it, but it's even sweeter. So they were having a conversation about onions and parfait, both having layers and layers that we have to go through to really understand the depths of people. And when I think about the interview process, that's exactly what we're trying to do is to understand the true depths of people to see what are they going to be like in the workplace? Are they really going to be good employees for us? So in order to do that, we need to understand their layers. And we're not going to understand their layers if we simply interview them, bring them in for an interview, go, yes, okay, perfect, they're wonderful, and we're going to bring them in and they're going to start. What you really want to do is slow down the interview process and build in layers like Shrek and Donkey were talking about to that process so that you can really see how are people going to function in the workplace. So we want to have a multi-layered approach to hiring so that every step of the way you're determining and seeing the depth of people so you could either be ruling them in as one of your dreamy job candidates, potential new employees, or ruling them out. So in the initial stages, we really want to set it up so we're saying, nope, 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 nope. Yep, you made it. You go to the next round. No, no, nope. Yes, you made it. You go to the next round. So that's what we want to be looking at. But if your interview process is just one layer deep, you're not going to really get to know people and who they're going to be for you in the workplace. And this is critically important. So, how do you do this? And if you like what I'm talking about, be on the lookout because we're going to make this training available to you along with the cheat sheet about the layers. So make sure you make a comment on whatever platform you're watching on so that we can make sure that we give you that as a follow up. So when we look at layers, what we typically advise our clients start off with is an email process, an email set of questions. And what I call these questions are questions that rule people out. So I want you to think about what question could you ask that would rule somebody out, meaning if they respond to it in a certain way, you know that they don't make it to the next level. And those are the questions that we want to be asking in that first set of email questions. So for example, one question might be, what hours can you absolutely not work? So depending upon the industry that you're in, that's a really important question to understand. Because if you're like many of my folks who are in the childcare industry or are restaurant owners, you want to know that your people have some flexibility and they've given you a time frame when they can't work. And if that doesn't line up with what you know you need, you know that you can move on. So you can be looking at every little step as a graduation to the next level in the interview process. So when you set up your layers, think about the first step being your interview, your initial interview questions that are emailed to somebody. And you could automate this absolutely. But when somebody applies for a job, great. Here's our first three sets or three questions that we need you to answer. And these questions either rule people in, they rule them out. If they make it to the next level, what you could do is consider sending them a recorded video with your vision. And if you don't have your vision in place, now is a fantastic time to get one because it really plays into the whole success of you attracting and retaining the right people. So the next step after they answer those questions, if they make it to the next round, you say, all right, here's a recorded video with our vision on it. Please tune into this and then send me a little note and let me know how you can help us make this vision come to life. So what skills and qualities do you have that's going to help us bring this vision into fruition? So that would be the second layer of the interview process. And you could structure this all different ways. But what you want to see with every step is how's their communication? How much do they know the vision? How much do they know about us? Are they excited working about us? Are they going to do what it takes and keep working through the steps? How's their follow up? How's their timeliness? So there's different things that you can measure with each layer that you put into place of the interview process. Make sense? And if you're here tuning in, please say hello. I look forward to hearing from you and helping you. And if there are questions that you have, I should be able to see those in StreamYard. So please accept the link and then you could ask your questions and we could have some interaction. And like I said, we'll also be having a cheat sheet for you on these layers. So be on the lookout for that. So we ask them those three ruling in or ruling out questions, and then you'll send them a copy of your vision on video and you ask them, how can you help us make this come to life? What are the characteristics or qualities? Then, if they pass that step and you're still really excited about this person, then you'll get on the phone with them and you'll have a phone interview where you'll have another question or two that you ask them that will determine, do I bring this person in for an on-site interview? And then you bring that person in. If they pass that step, you bring them in for an on site interview. You ask them more questions because what you're trying to do in the interview process is really see who this person is going to be working for you. So, can you really piece the puzzle together and see what kind of employee they're going to make before you hire them? You're saving yourself a ton of heartache, and you're also really connecting people to your vision, to your values, to what it is that's important to you. And this is where I see our clients really transforming the process, is when they have restructured their interview process. And when Mary went back to her staff member to say, well, why did you take a job with me? You could have made $2 more an hour. You could have been working at a more prestigious place. And she says, never, ever, ever have I felt more connected to an employer, to an owner, and the organization because of the interview process I just went through. And Mary said that employee was in tears. And that's really what you want. Even if somebody's got a full day of interviews ahead of them, you want to stick out. You want to be remembered. You want that employee to be thinking about you with every new opportunity that's presented to them, so that they could say, yeah, this is definitely the right opportunity for me. This is what I want to be a part of. And most people would rather be a part of something that is elite, that is more challenging to get into, than something that it's easy breezy. We take anybody, we hire anybody. So there's a big difference in the quality of people you will attract and you will hire if you take this multi-layered approach. And whether you call it a parfait or you call it an onion, that option is totally yours. So we do our three interview questions up front via email or however you want to automate it. Then you send them a copy of your vision on video and you say, watch this and send me how you think you could be a part of this. And then you get them on the phone, you ask them a couple more questions, then you have them in person and you ask them more questions. And if you can then at that point see clearly who this person is going to be in the workplace once they start working for you, then it's a good indication that you can move forward. And there's a lot more that we'll go into in the future about this. But I just want you to really be thinking, what layers can we be adding into our interview process? And I'll even have times where we have somebody in for an interview and then we forget to ask them something. So we have to send them an email and say, oh, I forgot to ask you for this. Could you provide that to me as soon as you can? Maybe it's references. And you don't ask for that during the interview, but then you say, oh, I really need some references. Can you provide me some? And you give them the opportunity to respond and to provide you with that follow up. If they are gung ho, if they are excited as you need them to be a successful team player, to be a part of your vision, they will be anxiously following through on every single step. And it doesn't matter if your staff are younger or if they are older, it always works true is that if they're on board, excited about your vision, they're going to do what it takes so that you pick them. We also have to shift our mindset through this whole interview process to where you sit in a place of confidence and you know that you always attract amazing people. Even if you haven't yet seen it transpire as part of your reality, you want to sit there in that energetic space of knowing that your dreamy people are right around the corner. They're driving past your workspace. They're thinking about working for you. And once you shift your mindset from a place of fear and desperation to that place of vision, you are going to implement what I'm sharing with you with confidence, knowing that you're creating the best, most impactful interview process ever. So make sure you've got layers added in. And if there are any questions, please feel free to click that StreamYard link and comment. I haven't done a lot of Q&A through StreamYard, so bear with me if there's something that I'm not seeing, and I will come back and I will answer questions after we wrap up the live stream here. But if this has been helpful for you, please give me a comment. Let me know that it's been helpful and that you would like more of these trainings. But I want to provide you with little things that will totally transform and shift your results. And to me, it's always a combination of mindset and strategy. And if you have the mindset where you are in your visionary mind, you're in an abundant mind frame, you leave behind fear and desperation, and you go forward and you think about creative layers to put in your interview process, you are going to have a winning formula. And don't be afraid to let your interview process reflect your vision, reflect your values, and reflect the unique person that you are. Be on the lookout for a cheat sheet as well as this training video and where you can access that. But in the meantime, feel free to leave me a comment, leave me a question. I will come back and answer those. And it's been great being here with you today. And I look forward to more trainings just like this one to help you lead workplace happiness. I'm Julie Barkus, been transforming workplaces for over 20 years, and I'm incredibly excited to help you transform your workplace into the absolute best workplace there is. I'll see you soon.